I want to tell you a story about a boxer I trained, and hopefully you can learn something from it, because it was quite a mad one. So someone messaged me. They said, I've got this boxer. He's I think it's 3 or 4 year old, and he's reactive to dogs, but he loves people. Absolutely loves them. So, I messaged him back and forth, asking different questions here and there. What's his life been? How long you had him? Things like that. And they said nothing's ever happened to him. Like, he's never had like any of them experiences, any struggles, whatever. But like, he's never been in a fight. But I don't know why, he just hates dogs. So I said, all right, bring him down, but I'd say just bring him in a muzzle, because he's going to meet a few dogs. Obviously, I don't want anything to happen. So they bring him down, and bear in mind, they said this dog's fine with people. They bring him down. As soon as I come out the front door to see him, first thing he does is jump up, goes to bite me. If he didn't have a muzzle on, he would have taken a chunk out of me, because he got straight up, got me straight away. So obviously that changes the whole situation of a session, don't it? It goes from meeting him, letting him meet a few dogs, to now hoping I don't get bit. But he had the muzzle on, so I was all right. And then I'm doing a bit of training with him, walking up and down, just getting him to trust me, giving him that bit of guidance. But every time I'm doing something with a dog, and obviously because he's just getting to know me, he might be a bit unsure. Anytime I'm doing stuff like that, his owners get a little uncomfortable. Oh, is he all right? He might hold back a little bit. Like, oh, is he all right? What's going on? Or he might try and jump up and bite me, whatever. And because I know nothing bad's going to happen, I can handle it. But every time that they get a little bit nervous, that dog picks up on it and feeds off of it. So every time it was like he would learn through a situation, but then their nerves would end up setting him back. So it got to a point where I said, listen, go up the shop, go round the corner, get a coffee, come back in half hour, just let me deal with him. Okay? Because all that nerves, all that kind of, it's a lack of leadership that they're giving him, but they're guiding him towards the wrong thing. If every time he does something, he can't properly learn and can't think it through because he's always thinking about them, then he's never going to learn anything. So I said, just come back in a bit. I'll settle him down. I'll relax him. Then we can carry on. So they left him with me for half hour. I was walking with him. He's doing well. He was getting it. It was good that he kind of wasn't worrying about them anymore. And then it got to a point where I was walking and he held back pressure. So he was just holding back a little bit. It's common. And this must have been about, I was young, maybe 14 at this point. So I've been doing it a couple of years now, but I was still kind of new to it all. So I said, so he was holding back. And then I held a little bit of pressure the idea is you make him a little uncomfortable staying still, so then he has to make the decision to come forward. I don't want to drag him, but if he's fighting, he's like, well, what's the point? And then he takes that step towards me. Then that's obviously what's good. So as he broke that pressure, as he took that step towards me, I started praising him. But this is kind of where it all went downhill. When the dogs, let's say they have an energy meter in their head, whatever. When he's down here, he can manage it. He doesn't react. When he's here, he reacts. So it doesn't matter if it's positive energy or negative energy. Just that kind of extra boost of energy is enough to make him react. A bit like, if let's say you've had a mad day at work, stressing, whatever, you're here, you're almost at your limit, and then you come home and the family, everything, they're shouting, there's noise, the kids are playing but they're being too loud. All of that, even though there's no like negative intentions there, that's enough to make you angry. Stop! It's overwhelming. And that's what it was like for this dog. As soon as I started praising him, he didn't like it. He tried biting me. Obviously, he had the muzzle on. And then he realised he couldn't bite me. So he went on his back legs, started pawing at the muzzle, got it off his head, slipped it straight off his head, chucked it on the floor, and now he's trying to bite me. So I'm holding the lead at arm's length. I've got him out here. He's trying to bite me, but the lead's just not long enough to get to me. So I'm trying to correct him as he's far away from me, trying to get him away. Oh, I ain't trying to get bit off him. He's like, pretty proper meaning it. So a little trick you can do if you're ever in this situation is if you find like a lamppost or something, you can wrap the lead round it, and then he's on one side, I'm on the other. As he's trying to jump for me, I can pull pressure a little bit. It's kind of hard to explain. Maybe I'll put a graphic on the screen now. But as he tries to jump for me, I can pull it, which kind of helps maintain that distance. So that's what we ended up doing. We put him around a handrail, it was. And that was a fun one. Because then from there, obviously it's difficult. I'm not going to be able to put the muzzle back on him. And I know that if the owners come back now, they're just going to make it even worse because they're going to think, oh, he's tried biting him, this has happened, when it's not actually that big of a deal. Obviously, he's going to try this. He's reactive. So from there, what I had to do was train him without the muzzle. Every time he tried lunging for me, I gave him a correction, which how we give corrections is we use a collar that basically simulates tickling. So, you know, when you stroke a dog behind the ear, they curl up and they enjoy it. Well, pretty much we overstimulate that same spot, so it's a bit like tickling them. It's uncomfortable enough to make them reconsider what they're doing. So I won't go full in detail. I've probably got videos, other videos about that. And if you want to know more about the training side of it, you can go to my Skool community. The first link in the description. It just goes over every part of the walk, so lead manners, reactivity, all of that, and it goes over kind of the tools we use and how we use them. You could get 7 days for free as well, just to try it out. But anyway, so I was giving him them corrections just round this handrail at first. Every time he tried lunging for me, I gave him a correction. And just, like I said, it lowers the value of what he's doing because it just makes him uncomfortable. The tiggling's uncomfortable enough to outweigh the negative that he's doing, especially if you're consistent enough, because as his adrenaline starts to wear off, there's less motivating him to do it because every time he's getting something he doesn't like. So that's how we started. And then from there, I wouldn't recommend doing this yourself, especially without a dog, with a dog that's got no muzzle on. But obviously we had no choices at this point. From there, once you started to settle, that's when I unwrapped the lead from the rail and started walking up and down. Now what I did is, if you think for a dog, his neck's only like that long, especially a boxer, his neck's only that long. My arm's longer than that. So what I need to do, it feels counterintuitive at first because you've got to get closer to the dog. But what I had to do is I had to hold the dog just above the collar. So pretty much my hand was just there. I'm ready to give corrections with this hand, ready to make him uncomfortable if he plays up. But what I can do now is if he tries lunging for me, even though I'm really close to him, I can hold him at arm's length. I can lean out the way. I can kind of push him back. And I can just use the short collar that he's got on him to keep him away from biting me. So hopefully I'll put a graphic on the screen of that as well, just to explain that. Because you got an idea in your mind, and you try putting it into words. You might be getting it, I might be overthinking it all. But I'll try and put a graphic on the screen now just to explain it a bit better for you. But I probably had to do that for maybe 10-15 minutes. He'd do really well, give him a correction, and then sometimes that would push him over the edge, whatever. And he was doing really well. There was the odd moments where he had to hold him at a distance. But when the dog's doing something and they realise it's not working, they get to a point where they're like, what is the point? They're trying to do this, they're trying to bite you, they're trying to jump up, they're trying to go mental. And then from there, it's like, oh, this don't work. And then they settle. And then from there, when you start moving, what you should try and do is, with dogs like that, is you should try and, sounds bad, but disregard them. A dog like that has been so used to being the centre of everyone's focus because they're mental. He tried to bite me. He tried to do this. He's barking. Blah. Everyone focuses on that dog. So he thinks he's like a celebrity, but that can make him a bit, not self-conscious, but like paranoid. Why's everyone looking at me? What's going on? Which makes him even worse. What I need to do is make the shift so he thinks that I'm like the celebrity. This guy doesn't even look at me. What's his problem? Why ain't he? He must be important. So as I'm walking, I'm out the corner of my eye, I'm looking at him because I obviously don't want to get bit. But I'm not making a big deal about him being with me. I'm just looking straight ahead, looking at the corner of my eye, seeing where he is. Anytime he tries playing up, little correction, guidance, things like that. And then as he was getting better and better, what happened was, instead of him looking at me to bite me, he was looking at me for guidance. It was like a straight shift. 1 second, he was trying to bite me. So I held him at arm's length, gave him a little correction. And then literally, as soon as I released the lead to start walking again, it was like a different dog. He looked at me, he was actually smiling at me, which was nice. It was like he was looking at me, double taking while smiling. I think that was like we call it an epiphany moment, where he's like, this other thing doesn't work, it hasn't worked. And this guy's still being consistent with his rules, his way of life is, anytime I get bit, this happens, da da da. Okay, well, he's not budging. Nothing's working for me. Well, maybe I've got to change him because this guy seems to know what he's on about. And then from there, as he starts warming up to me, as he starts behaving, that's when it starts just all going like kind of my way. We was walking, he was looking at me, smiling, and it even got to a point, if I can find a picture, it was years and years ago, so if I can find a picture, I'll put it up on the screen now. But it got to a point where I was stroking on his head, and he was loving it. But obviously, this isn't how you want a session to go. It was nice that it went that way, but it could have gone a lot different. If I wasn't as switched on at the time, it could have gone a lot different. But the things you can kind of learn from this is, if your dog's reactive, even though it might be for the right reasons, try not to praise them when they're at that proper tense state. If you see, let's say, their body language goes from tense to finally relaxed, then you can praise them, or you can give them what they want, because they're showing you that they're like relaxing. They're actually relaxed. It's not just like faking. I'll just get on with it, but I hate it. They're actually relaxing. But but if they're tense, they're ready to go, and you praise them, you might end up getting bit. So that's the first thing to learn. The second thing is, if you're seeing a trainer, make sure to tell them, like, actually what's up with the dog. Don't try and hide it because you think, oh, maybe they might not take us on if I say he's reactive to people. Maybe this will happen, maybe that. Because there's just, it's oh, as a trainer, you structure a session specifically for the dog that's coming in. You think, well, this dog's reactive to dogs. This has happened, that's happened, whatever. Okay, this is how it's all going to go. You've got to get maybe a second trainer in that day to be able to take the other dogs, so you can do introductions at the right distance, things like that. So if I plan all of this out for you, and then you turn up and the dog's got a completely different problem, then obviously it's inconvenient. So unless you want to inconvenient your dog trainer straight away, maybe not the best idea. And also, if you got a dog that's running at you, like if you got your dog and it's next to you and he's got a problem, try and hold him as close as you can to the collar, because then you can use your arm as a gauge, as a distance, to keep him away from you, stop yourself from getting bit. But anyway, learn from my mistakes, try not to get bit, don't praise them at the wrong time, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.